I just wanted to respond to a comment I got the other day from a guy called Reaching the Lost. He gives an example out of the Book of Mormon. In Mosiah 2, it talks about how they offered sacrifice and burnt offerings. And he gave this long dialogue as to why that's wrong. He says that stands as proof that the Book of Mormon is false because it doesn't follow the law of Moses, which is really weird to even try to make that generalization based off of that one little verse. Here's what you need to understand about the Book of Mormon, sir. It was written in about 400 to 500 AD by a man named Mormon. He was commanded to go to their Hall of Records, read through everything, and understand everything from 600 BC when Lehi left Jerusalem and took the brass plates, which contained the 5 books of Moses and the writings up to Jeremiah, to the New World to preserve it. So all these prophets took all that from 600 BC to 500 AD, and he is now living in a time when the law of Moses is fulfilled. He's reading all this and he is compiling it all into a book. So there are times you have to ask, who is the author? Is Mormon the one speaking, or is it the guys in this time period that are speaking? So this time period that Mormon is talking about is around like 80 BC, when they're still following the law of Moses. And the whole point of this chapter is the king wants to gather all the people together to give them one last message before he dies. So what is Mormon doing? He's telling everything that happened. The king has all the people come to the temple and they start offering sacrifices and burnt offerings according to the law of Moses. That is all he points out. And the whole point is they made these sacrifices, then they gathered, and then they listened to the king speak. That's really the point of these few chapters. It's not about the sacrifices and all that. And you're making this weird generalization that this is all false because of that. So if you realize it, sir, you're Christian and you don't practice the law of Moses. I don't practice the law of Moses. And Mormon didn't practice the law of Moses. And all of us are trying to generalize this little verse where all Mormon who doesn't really understand the law of Moses, he just read about it like you and I, he just kind of points out, oh, they did everything according to the law of Moses. Like, that's it. And that's your generalization that this is false. That doesn't hold water. That doesn't work very well. You're going to have to do better than that. You're going to have to prove that this actually contradicts, and that's not a contradiction. That's just them practicing the law of Moses before listening to the king. The end. The only thing you actually did was manage to teach us how the minute details of what they did would have been like.